Hi everyone, welcome to this weekly update video for the 14th of August, and let's get into it and keep it as brief as we can. So TFM and Navigraph, I mentioned last week that TFM would shortly be getting Navigraph support in the hub. That would mean that you'd be able to get a cycle of Eric data in TFM. Well, in a few hours, Navigraph Hub is said to be updated, and when it is, it should have TFM as an option, so you can download the database. Now, I should stress this doesn't really mean anything right now in terms of features, and they are asking for people to start thinking of ideas that can utilize this Navigraph database. So TFM in the future will come with 2205 cycle, and of course, if you have a Navigraph subscription for the FMS data, you can go in and update TFM, and so this data can start to be used for features. And so any ideas, I would imagine you can start putting them on GitHub. You can start contacting TFM to throw in your ideas and see if they are viable, and obviously be aware they'll take some time to implement, given that the code base is also being reorganized. But now the cycle is in there, it's obviously a step in the right direction. And you know, it was something that had been delayed for quite a while because the Navigraph weren't really aware of TFM's purpose and what it was able to do. Right, on to the next thing, which is the pmdg micro update for the 737. Now, the rather interesting thing with this is that they say you can download it through the Ops Center. However, if you do, there is a possibility you will have, quote, pink and blank textures on the outside of the aircraft. I already did the update, and so I don't know if I have pink textures on the outside of my aircraft. I have had no issues with the update. The plane's been working fine, but it may well be bright pink, I don't know. So what they recommend is to get it off the website and do a full reinstall. I didn't do that because I wasn't aware of that. So as I say, you won't have any plane issues if you actually install through the Ops Center, although you might have a beautiful bright pink airplane. Yeah, so if you install from the website, be aware if you're using the FT Sim sound pack, you may well have to reinstall that, and you may well have to redo your nav data. So just be aware of that if you do a full reinstall of the airplane. They also mention that engine spool up behavior, and specifically behavior at low idle settings, has been altered to slightly more realistic values, so that's cool. They mentioned the 777 and that there's a few more things to sort out before it gets into the hands of testers, but it is in the beta stage. They mentioned that the cabin is looking great and that systems such as the elements of fly-by-wire in the 777 are coming along nicely. So it looks like that's going very well. And then the final thing I wanted to mention, there's not a whole lot for this week at all, is something that's not really related to blind pilots, but I thought it might be of interest, is that Aerosoft have been given 460,000 euros by the German government as part of a scheme to support video games and content. And they have been asked to create an A321neo and an A330neo for Microsoft Flight Simulator. We already knew they were making an A330neo. We didn't know they were making an A321neo, but it seems that they're doing so at the request of the German government. They have been asked to make them with a detailed 3D interior and exterior model with detailed cockpits and realistic functionalities. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, and you know, you never know, there might be a few avenues to explore with this, given it's such a large amount that they've been given from a pot or a fund that already existed, to kind of make a few inquiries and see if they would consider some native accessibility, or at least some built-in possibilities for interfacing with it, given that it's coming from a fund from the German government. But yeah, that's particularly interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before, and a significant chunk of funds going there. And of course, that is potentially related to the fact that one of the project leads at Aerosoft, named Matthias Koch, left Aerosoft recently and joined pmdg. Obviously, he wasn't too happy with how the Aerosoft company kind of was heading, taking money from the government. And of course there's been some controversy around this, people saying it's taxpayers' money, why on earth is it going to companies like this, which is a debate that's not really relevant to this video, but it is worth pointing out that it's from a much larger fund with a multi-million pound or in this case euro fund that was supporting the video game industry. It's not just a random act by the German government to start dishing out money to Aerosoft in particular. I'm also not sure why they chose Aerosoft. I believe Aerosoft does have a lot of German connections and is potentially based there, so that's maybe why. But you might suggest that there's potentially developers more deserving of such funds. But there you go. And it looks like Aerosoft's A330 regular engine option, not the Neo, is still coming along, but seems to have significantly been slowed. I mean, they already released the paint kit a few months back, and it was rumoured that it was going to be released very soon, but nothing coming yet. So we will have to see on that front. But yeah, it's very interesting development there. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a rather strange week with pink airplanes and of 500,000 euros heading off to Aerosoft. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed the weekly update video, and I shall see you next week. Oh, one more thing, TFM anniversary flight. I already said it was on the 2nd of September. That's when it was planned around in conjunction with the TFM devs. Just to say, the departure time will be from 1700 Zulu onwards, with the aim of having wheels up by 1730 Zulu. Although given delays, the amount of pilots there may be, and ATC, it will probably be changeable, but that is the aim. So come along on that. It's on BATSIM, whatever airline you want. BVI Virtual will be there naturally, and you can fly with any airline. And we'll see then, but I shall see you on this channel probably for the next weekly update video. We'll see. All right, thanks.